Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Michael and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be going over the differences between corporations, a C-Corp, an S-Corp, and an LLC. And obviously, there is not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to corporate taxes, so that is why the IRS made these three different blends of corporations that exist today. To start, I'll be going over about 3 to 5 unique things for each corporation style. And then at the very end, I'll be going over why you might want to choose one type of corporation over another. In addition, to keep in mind, I am not an accountant and I am not a lawyer, so I would encourage you to talk to a professional before incorporating some type of corporation. Let's get started. So C-Corp is taxed at the federal level for profit, meaning that any profit that comes into the company will be taxed immediately. Now, there's a thing called double taxation that does exist with the C-Corp, and that is where you get taxed at the corporate level, and then when you pay out dividends, you get taxed again. So that's where double taxation comes into play with the C-Corp. The thing though with C Corporation is that you can actually have unlimited shareholders and they can live anywhere in the world. So this is actually pretty useful if you're trying to collect funds from an external country outside the United States, or if you want to have a lot of different investors involved that you want inside of your corporation. So if you have a lot of relationships, they can be anywhere in the US or anywhere in the world, a C corporation is extremely useful for that. Stocks and dividends can have different asset classes. So based off what you set up in your corporation for your C Corp, you can have a preferred return or preferred stock based off of how much money is put into your company. Okay, so a unique thing with having to pay twice out for taxes, you can be pretty creative in this. You can have profits that roll in to your corporation, and then you have profits that roll in down to your employees, which will then be double taxed again. But the unique part about this is that you can actually do a thing called income splitting, where you can control if you want most of your profit to roll into the corporation, or it might be smarter to split it up into your employee level and then it's taxed down from there. Another thing to keep in mind is that when you have a corporation is that the corporate owners own the entire corporation, but they can hire out officers. So officers can run the business and do the day-to-day operations, but the real owners of the business can be held at the corporate level. This is unique for a C Corp. Bonus tip for you guys, C corporations have been out the longest. They've been around for a very long time. So what that means is that within the IRS, there is a lot of defined rules on how they can exist and take advantage of the tax rules. So what's unique about an S-Corp? An S-Corp is a flow-through tax entity, meaning that you are not taxed at the corporate level, but at the personal level of ownership. One of the biggest perks of having an S-Corp is that there is no self-employment tax at the corporate level. So any profits that are made, you don't pay self-employment tax. Self-employment tax really is just paying for Social Security and Medicare. Now, the thing is, if you, let's say you're an employee of the company and you want to distribute funds to yourself, so you can pay yourself a salary. Well, that salary as an employee does get hit with self-employment tax. So an example would be, let's say you make 100K in your S-Corp, but you want to pay yourself a salary of 40K. The 40K profit would be hit with self-employment tax. So that would be Social Security and Medicare. However, the remaining 60K balance is not, you do not have to pay the self-employment tax on. So that should save the company profit of about 15% in tax avoidance. That is probably one of the most extremely powerful tools for an S-Corp, is that with your reduction in taxes paid, you can continuously grow and avoid paying taxes immediately and continuously keep going, keep rolling that business model. Something to keep in mind too with an S-Corp is that there is a limitation on how many shareholders or business owners are within that company. An S-Corp is limited to 100 owners and they all have to be US citizens. So that's probably one of the biggest differences with an S-Corp is that limitation. So if you're trying to collect funds, they have to be a US citizen if they want to be an owner of the business, and then you can only have so much people involved with owning that type of asset. So an LLC is actually the newest corporation that does exist, meaning as an investor or a company owner, that means that there is a lot of gray area in the IRS. And this can be good for the better or it could be for the worse. It's kind of up to you and how you want to read the IRS and working with your tax professionals to see what benefits come out of this. So an LLC has flow-through taxes, very similar to an S-Corp. So all the profit that's made is not taxed at the corporate level of the LLC. It's actually flowed down to the actual business owners at the individual level. An LLC can have an unlimited amount of shareholders. And the unique thing too about an LLC is that they can also be anywhere in the world. So if you wanted to have a board of directors, a management company, etc., they can live anywhere in the world, and there can be an unlimited amount of people involved with your LLC. And so you'll probably actually see, if you're paying attention just around you in corporations that are forming, there are a lot of LLCs forming because of this, because of the flexibility that does come with owning an LLC. So profit distribution in an LLC is very customizable. In a C corporation, your profit distribution is based off of how much shares you own in the company. However, in an LLC, profit distribution is based off of the agreement of joining the LLC. So if you find that a member is perhaps providing more value to the company, their profit distribution can be unique to them. So let's go over some examples of why you might want to have an LLC, a C Corp, and an S-Corp, and you can decide for yourself which one you want to go forward with. So for a C corporation, you might want to do this if you're starting a business that you plan to go public on. Let's say you have a software company and you want to start out small, but eventually you want to open up to the public. A C Corp would be useful in this sense because once you go public, you can offer public shares and public stocks. So anywhere in the world and anyone in the world can invest in your company. In addition, you might want to have a C corporation if you find that there's a lot of liability in the business model you have. You'll probably find out that a lot of medical companies and construction companies are actually C corporations for this very reason. It's really easy to collect investment funds because it doesn't matter how many people are involved in the C Corp, and they can again be anywhere in the world. So an S-Corp, when and why would you want an S-Corp? Well, an S-Corp is actually extremely useful if you have a company where you're collecting passive income. And let's say, okay, where would I have a company that's generating me passive income? Well, that actually might be from let's say a real estate business that you have. And if you don't know, I actually do a lot of videos on real estate. If you guys are thinking, oh, I don't know how to do real estate, or I don't have enough money to do real estate, or it's just too much for me and I just can't do it. Well, thankfully guys, if you're watching this video, there is so much free information on the Growth Mindset channel. I'm literally explaining to you guys how to get involved. There's 10 steps on how to get involved in real estate, how to save up money for retirement, how to build passive income retirement. It's literally flooded on this website. So if you haven't learned about real estate or you want to learn about real estate, I encourage you to spend some time just going over this channel and seeing all the information that's out there for you. So where was I? What's unique about an S-Corp is that the self-employment tax does not apply to the profit. So what is cool about this is that as you continuously build up income from your business model, you aren't paying taxes on it until you make a distribution. What is helpful though with an S-Corp is that let's say you're ready to make distributions. Let's say you hit FIRE, you're financially independent, retire early, you just want to live off the funds of your company. So now you could convert your LLC to an S-Corp and pay yourself a distribution. And keep in mind, you will be hit with the self-employment tax, so Social Security and Medicare. But what is unique with this is that because you can make yourself an employee, you can pay yourself a distribution. You can also assign yourself, because if you own the company, you can assign yourself medical and dental perks. And so now you're having medical and dental perks that are charged to your S-Corp to get those benefits. What else you should keep in mind is that if you create an S-Corp, is that because you are the owner of the business, you can control how much distribution you take every year. So let's say you want to live off 40K a year, all right? So 40K a year, okay, you're hit with self-employment tax, but the remaining profit is not taxed. So you can control a balance of how much you want to pay in taxes every year based off of the distribution you make to yourself. And you can get a little bit more creative on how to avoid tax. When I say avoid tax, it's literally following the guidelines of what the IRS is telling you. There is no loophole in taxes and avoiding paying taxes or doing some type of scam. Literally, the IRS is telling you how to play the game, how to be a thinker, and make those smart tax advantage moves. If you haven't seen my recent videos, I'd recommend checking those out. Essentially though, if you want to create passive income or a lot of wealth, you have to find a way to lower your taxes. And there are ways to do this. You can own this through real estate and claiming a lot of losses given to you by the IRS. Again, if you haven't seen any of my videos on real estate, there's more examples on how to reduce your taxable income significantly. Because it's not about just working harder, it's about being smarter. And being smarter doesn't mean you're taking advantage of the government. It literally just means that you're following the rules provided by the IRS. Okay, an LLC. When would you might want to have an LLC? An LLC is actually one of the most popular ways of forming a business today because it is just so flexible. You'll find that there's a lot of real estate investors, intellectual property individuals, and stock owners and stock investors that have an LLC. And so what are the perks of having an LLC? Why should I even have one? You want to have an LLC if you just want to have an asset protection vehicle. It is a very good way to protect your assets because when you form an LLC, that separates your wealth from yourself. And protecting your corporate vehicle is extremely important if you want to develop a lot of income that is sustainable, that doesn't go into your personal assets. It is a legal separation from you and your company. And this does apply to also C-Corp and S-Corp, but LLC is the most flexible in that way. So as a summary, guys, that was a lot of information for you. Watch this video once or twice again. If you did not catch everything, the differences, we went over the differences between a C-Corp, S-Corp, and LLC. And ultimately, what you should keep in mind in this video is that you should talk to a tax professional and accountant for the best situation for you to take advantage of what the IRS has given. Now, keep in mind the whole point of having asset protection is to protect yourself. So what does that mean? Well, all funds and expenses that are related to your company are directed to your company. You should avoid paying personal expenses on your corporate card, and likewise, you should not pay corporate expenses on your personal card. When the IRS comes down to audit you, or if someone wants to look at your history and how you are running your business, you have to be professional. And so what that means is that you have two separate bank accounts that shows what's corporate and what's personal. And that's going to help you protect your corporate veal. And so the intent of having an LLC, a C-Corp, and S-Corp is for asset protection. And obviously your mileage may vary, so that is where you're going to want to talk with professionals in your local area. Alright guys, well thank you so much for hanging out with me on the Growth Mindset channel. Obviously that was a lot of information. If you want to learn more about real estate, check out my videos on this channel. Anyone can literally get involved with real estate. It's all about just having the mindset of figuring out and educating yourself, okay, what's real estate? What type of real estate is there? How can I get involved in real estate? How can I get involved with real estate with no money? How can I get involved with real estate without paying for thousands of dollars of classes just to get the information to go ahead and take action? Well, I think the first step is education. And so I have spent many hours on this channel developing my business strategies and sharing it with you guys on this channel for free. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, check out my videos, and give me a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching the Growth Mindset channel, and I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.